back as we fill your mind with spooky true crime stories of the deranged, unhinged, and absolute pure evil murders that will blow your mind. Some places we will visit to show you around and educate you on the history. Other times we will bring you to the paranormal because the dead never lie silent for too long.
Be the last time anybody sees us alive. I don't know where she has us, but we're gonna get fucking killed.
Hello? Gina, there is a beehive over there. Do you see that in the hole?
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I never overindulge on Thanksgiving because I don't like Thanksgiving food, so we never have turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy. We don't do all that.
What did you have yesterday?
My son made barbecued ribs.
Oh, I would have overindulged.
His girlfriend made this it's like a chicken, but then it has, it's not like your regular stuffing. I think it's like Mexican style, but it has ground beef, potatoes, carrots. We had biscuits. We had corn on the cob.
Oh.
We had baked beans. And then Myra, my son's girlfriend, made cheesecake. My daughter made these amazing, it's kind of like, have you had monkey bread before?
Yes.
So it's kind of along those lines, like, but
it's
they're
that pull apart bread, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like kind of cinnamon with like that icing, but it was rolled in crushed up Oreos.
What?
Yeah.
Do you still have some?
Maybe.
Ooh,
I might
want to try that.
I didn't think that I would like it. I thought it was going to be super, super sweet.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was really, really good. And I have to say something. So my daughter she works at Cheesecake Factory. So she's always bringing home cheesecakes and stuff. And I'm like, ugh, I don't like cheesecake. I don't like cheesecake. I've never tasted it, but it's never even like, it's never even looked appealing to me.
Yeah.
But last night we went to my brother and sister-in-law's house and my nephew made cinnamon. I don't know. They were like little cinnamon cheesecake bites.
Uh-huh.
It was the best thing I've ever tasted before in my life.
Cheesecake's the best. See?
Yeah.
You'll
So
pull
shout
me
out
over
to
to
my
the-
nephew, Andre, because I don't know what you did. You put some magic in that. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, good. Good segue into what we're going to be talking about today.
Right?
About the magic.
What did you eat?
You know what? I don't like turkey. I'm the same. I'm not very much into the typical like Thanksgiving meal or anything, but my husband smokes a turkey. He started just last year, started smoking it, and he, it's all about, I saw a TikTok video where the guy's massaging the turkey and stuff, and it's for real. Like legit, my husband, like, I got to go massage the turkey.
Yeah.
I got to go inject it, massage, inject, massage. And it's like a slow process,
Yeah.
right? So, but, it comes out really, really flavorful and really, really juicy.
Yeah.
That I can at least have. I had about a piece this big.
I mean, I don't mind it, but
to
to like,
good.
if my daughter had her way, we would have the whole like traditional Thanksgiving Day spread, but
Yeah.
she's the only one that would eat it.
Yeah, we're not big on that, but well, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I'm not big on that. But
Yeah.
Everybody else, so we did. We had the turkey. We didn't have mashed potatoes. We do like the sweet yams,
Oh yeah.
like with the cinnamon and the brown sugar.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The marshmallows and all that.
No, it didn't have the marshmallows. It was just like big chunks of it. My sister-in-law makes it. It was pretty good. But yeah, no, broccoli salad. Oh, I made a broccoli salad from scratch because I love the Costco one.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to go get it, it was sold out. Like we didn't have any. I went to Smart and Final. I was looking for it because I'm like, that's easy. I can make a broccoli salad. So I looked up Costco broccoli salad recipe. Oh, so good. And then I can add whatever I want in it and take out whatever I don't want.
My daughter Jasmine and my son's girlfriend made homemade mac and cheese.
Oh,
But they used the recipe from I don't remember what the restaurant is. I can't remember. But they were just
so
like I don't like anything about mac and cheese. and this had like so much cheese, like it was ridiculous. So it was disgusting to me, but they were like in heaven. They were like, this is the best thing ever.
My daughter is usually in charge of the mac and cheese, but she's in Texas. And so my niece, Gigi, made mac and cheese. So good. But it's the same. I think it's probably might be around the same recipe because it's got like 3 different cheeses. It's got like Gruyere cheese and like all these 3 different cheeses. And it's so cheesy and yummy and like
they put like breadcrumbs on top of it and then baked it. And
yeah, she doesn't put the breadcrumbs, but she puts the cheese on.
I can't think of what
Savannah
restaurant.
Did the bread. Yes, Savannah did one from a restaurant. Oh, I know which one you're talking about because Savannah did that one year. But if you don't do the cheese at the right heat, the cheese gets, because Savannah one year made a mistake and she heated up the cheese too fast and it turns into like a glumpy, like.
Yes. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And you have to cook it like at
slow.
Slow, right.
Yeah.
Temp. Oh,
yeah.
sorry,
so I'm sure I'm sure they're going to try again for Christmas. So.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
The mac and cheese was really, really good at ours too. Well, we were getting a lot of comments.
Yes.
On our Nichol Kessinger, and we did a comment one as well, but some new ones come up, and I just think it's really interesting because one, a lot of you out there have either information, I don't know where it comes from, which is great, like because you can't look this case up fast enough about Nichol Kessinger and all the theories, but we wanted to again touch on some of the comments, and I just
they're really good comments that we've been getting.
It is, and it's a lot. It's fascinating.
That too.
Fascinating information about things that I've never even heard of, or theories, but it gets you thinking, especially on this black magic, white magic, crystals, because when you start looking at some people's relationships and just in general, like around you, don't you ever get like that best friend that, all of a sudden you're like, what is she seeing him, or what is he seeing her, or no matter what she does, he's still with her or she's still with him. Like, what is it? So we kind of were talking about that.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff that you're bringing up, it kind of makes you think like, is there such a thing? You guys are like so strong on these spells.
Like the mind control and just everything. Like it actually, when you see cases like this and when you think back to things that have happened in your own life, you're like, man, this might really be a thing.
Yeah.
Might be a real thing.
Why haven't I tried it on my husband? Like, no, just kidding. Wait a second. There's some things I need him to say yes to.
We need to practice.
So some of those things that I want to bring up. But I had seen this one and I was going to look it up while we're on the air.
Can I just...
While we're recording.
I just want to touch on one real quick.
No, touch on yes.
Because I thought it was... I thought it was kind of funny because not a lot of people, but we've gotten a couple comments saying that Shannon and I look like twins. I don't know if it's like the glasses or I don't know what it is,
the
but
lighting, the black sweatshirts,
so, right? But this was from, I don't even know how to say this name, Hannah, Carneiro 16. And she says, hi, I'm from Brazil and I love your videos. The lady at the left looks so much like Shanann Watts. That would be me.
Yes. I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. But I think it's funny how like people say that you and I look alike. And yeah, it's funny the things that you see. So I just wanted to touch on that. But thank you. Thank you for watching all the way from Brazil. I mean,
yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes I think maybe it's like our lines in our face, like when we smile, because I was trying to see it, like I froze the clip and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess maybe because of the glasses and stuff. And I can see how we can probably look related on camera.
Right.
We do not just guarantee you in person, you will never mistake me for her or her for me. It's just, we are not that close as far as looks go. Gina's way more beautiful.
No, I think that we just have completely opposite styles.
We do.
I dress like a hobo. Sure. I dress like a I dress like a high school gothic kid. Like,
well, that's because you can.
and
I would
you
love to if I
dress
could.
very professional, and
only because of our jobs.
and
Yeah.
I'm just like, look what I'm wearing. Like, this is my.
Well, I mean, this is me on
Yeah.
day. This is how I'd want to look every single day at work. I'm not allowed to.
I mean, I'm probably not either, but I do.
You do anyways. I have one from Hopelessly Inquisitive 9839, and they are asking us to look up, search using wasp in black magic. It's ironic AF. So I thought maybe I can look it up, because is that something with, does it pertain?
Wasp,
Black?
like a bee?
Yeah.
Oh.
Black magic wasp. I wonder, using hornets and wasp in witchcraft. Any spell focused around matriarchal or feminine specific social structures, using wasp or hornet nets in your spell can, hold on, I gotta click. Is it curses that involve pain and fear, curses that involve falling aloof, spies, infiltrators, or deceivers, curses that involve projects or structures going wrong, any spell focused around matriarchal or feminine specific social structures. It's about matriarchal social orders. I know I can't talk. Any spell focused on people who leech things off others, spells that involve wasp. You'd be surprised how non-obvious this is to some people, but yes, if you want your spell to literally involve wasp or hornets, it would be a good idea to include one or two in your spell. So I guess I got to look up how it pertains, though. I guess I thought it would be something where it would come up. Maybe if I do black magic wasp, Chris Watts, or actually Nichol. Did you have? I'll look this up. Did you have any other?
I do. This one is kind of long, but I'll read it. It's from at Todd Matthews 5556. It says, I believe if had Chris Watts never got involved with Nichol Kessinger, that it is still possible that maybe at another time in his future that he would commit a horrific act on his family. Chris Watts was emotionally abused from the time that he was born by Cindy Watts. He was the golden child. That is emotional abuse, by the way. Just as bad as being the scapegoat. In Cindy Watts' TV interview, which also, by the way, was only done for her to get attention for herself, she said Chris Watts was really the perfect child. He never ever did anything wrong or got into trouble or caused any trouble. He was quiet and perfectly well behaved. No child is perfectly well behaved and does everything right and never does not cause any kind of trouble unless they are abused into having to be the golden child, so that the abusive parent will be happy and look perfect to everyone because she is such a perfect mother. He knew if he did anything wrong or imperfect, then his mother would be so unhappy and angry. As a child, he had to disconnect from his own authentic personality to survive the abuse. By him having to turn off his emotions and feelings every single day of his young life so his mother would be happy or else. He no longer had any genuine personality and emotions and true self. He is an empty shell, an empty body. Everything he did every day, he was doing as a programmed computer or robot to appear as the golden husband and father with the perfect and happy family. No one can continue to keep up the fake fantasy forever. The perfect mask persona will always slip at some point and destroy the fantasy by a selfish, stupid, or evil act that will expose them for who and what they are and are not.
Wow, that gives you a lot of insight. Like, it makes a lot of sense if you kind of put it in that perspective, like as what we saw after, how he behaved when he was being interviewed by the police, how a lot of people said he had no emotions.
Right.
He wasn't really...
There was no tears. There was no crying.
Nothing. This is actually the first time I heard this, because we do get a lot of comments and we kind of try to take turns, and Gina does do the majority of the reading of the comments, but we kind of try to take turns and take turns answering. So this is the first time I've heard this one.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense too, as far as keeping up the facade, because a lot of people say, you know, when Shanann would post their videos, you know, it did look like the perfect family.
Yeah.
She did talk. She was very in her
And he
mind,
always wanted to be like
in the background,
behind the scene. Like, yeah.
But to her, it might have been like, to her, it might have not have been just a facade. To her, she probably felt like she hit the lottery. She has this great guy.
That was
she
him.
has these 2 wonderful kids, and she wanted to share it with the world. Every marriage has their problems. Just want to put it out there.
Of course.
And no one wants to put on social media when they're having problems. And that's the problem with social media, is that these kids look at it and they think everybody's life is perfect. And if it doesn't look like that, then therefore, you know,
Yeah.
something's wrong in their life, which is not the case. Just, you know, nobody's life is perfect. Marriage is hard.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of work. And so just because she was posting the happy times does not mean that she didn't felt that at that time, that she didn't feel happy and she didn't feel blessed to have them in her life and him in her life. And so, but if he had,
I mean, if he had been if he had been dealing with that his whole entire life, by the age that he was then, like, who knows what kind of toll that took on his personality and everything.
And a lot of, and we're not giving him excuses, please, people.
No. Yeah, please don't come at me.
Thank you. We're not giving him excuses. He is where he belongs. I mean, nobody deserves, like, regardless of how you were raised, there are people that are raised way worse than that, with way more emotional and abusive trauma.
And at the end of the day, and I've said this on other cases, you know right from wrong.
Yes.
You know right from wrong. Point, like, done.
Yeah.
Period. Like,
regardless of how you're feeling.
You know that it is not okay to do what you did.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I don't know. Some people say Nichol did it. Some people say he did it. Regardless, you played a part in it and you know that that's wrong.
You knew. Yeah. You knew what you were doing was wrong.
Doesn't matter.
But years of that, you built up a lot of resentment.
Yes.
So maybe every time that, you know, who knows, every time she did a happy video and this is my happy family post, who knows how much it bothered him inside.
Of course.
You know, because it's
just
like,
eating him alive. Yeah.
Finish having this argument over here, you know, about who's taking the kids to where. And then all of a sudden, you know.
Well, and it's hard too, because, you know, a lot of people are very much against social media and don't want their business out there. So if you have a couple where one of them is like very much into social media and putting everything out there, and the other one doesn't want any of their personal business for whatever the reason may be, you know, and it's funny because a lot of people will say, oh, so-and-so doesn't have social media. Oh, well, that must mean they have something to hide. No, they just don't want their business out there.
Yeah.
Like,
Private.
Yeah. Social media has just become like, I don't know. It's just, I have very mixed feelings about it.
No, yeah, it's good and bad.
Yeah.
You know,
people become addicted to this and addicted to trying to fit in and get to know people who, you know, it's just, I don't know. You can really go off the deep end with it for sure.
Oh, no, definitely. I had one person comment one time, like, told me something like, oh, you hardly ever post. You know, why do you hardly ever post? And I responded, I said, well, I only post when I have something to brag about. Like, but it's so true. Like, I was just being honest. Like, I'm not going to sit there and post what I had for breakfast, but if I go on vacation and I come back and I have a couple pictures I want to share.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally, I'm just posting to make other people jealous. Like, and it's not really that it's what you're thinking. You only want people to see the happy, good times that you're having. But when other people viewing from the other end, you're seeing only my good times, you know? You're not seeing all the times, all my struggling in between.
Yeah, but know that they happen.
Yeah, they happen.
Know that they happen to everybody.
So I have one right here that said something in an interview in February 2019 with law enforcement. CW said, we had a shovel. So it could be NK that was with him when digging the hole, ? This is from at Trini Tristant. I'm going to say it wrong because I never know where it begins or ends when it's together. Or it could be like Trini Trisant 3527. I'm sorry if I'm screwing up your guys' names, but, and we have touched on that before regarding that he does bring up, he slips and says we a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's her, whether it's somebody else who helped him, whether he's saying we as in maybe physically she wasn't there, but they planned it together.
Right. There's more than one person involved in this. There's definitely,
we know that didn't do it alone.
Who else would it be?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Could be numerous people, but in my mind, I just, so somebody had, let me see. You guys have such hard names. Maria, it's NANTILLON 1530. Commented and said, they also say they can't find Chris Watts in Wisconsin jail.
Oh. Who can't find?
I don't know. That was just the comment.
Yeah. That's some.
I thought that was interesting.
And, forgive me for my memory because I am the first one to admit that I don't have one. Was Wisconsin the last state that he was in jail? Because it went from Colorado and then they moved him.
I believe
to
so.
A Wisconsin jail. Let
me check.
Yeah. Chris Watts. While you're checking on that, I have a comment here and it goes back to the black magic from @Electra4623. Thank you, Electra, for the simple name. Her colleague did see a book called I'm going to mess this up, Necronomicon on her desk. It is satanic. Please look into it. I remember his interview. It was, I think, done by phone. Maybe I'm wrong about the way he gave this information, but he did comment about all those satanic things in her office. She did black magic. It is 100% true. I trust you guys will follow up on this. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you, Electra. Yeah, no, definitely. We've been trying to find hard documents. I don't know how else. They mentioned so many video cameras at the work site that I'm really curious to know if there's any way anybody out there has heard, seen, point us in that direction of video cameras in the office, anything that or correlates to some of this stuff that they're saying. Like, is there any corroboration? Maybe that's the word I'm more looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it from the beginning, like, where are the neighbors?
Yeah. Well, they had that video with the one neighbor talking.
Besides Betty.
Yeah.
But, like, what about the whole entire street? Anybody's ring cam could have picked up. Yeah, like, I mean, where are all their stuff at? There's got to be other stuff out there.
On other cases that we've done, they've literally followed people from video camera to video camera. Like, here's them in front of the Shell station. And then
on the street. I forgot what case that was when he was dumping body parts in the trash cans and it followed this truck.
Follows.
Yeah.
Where they're at, because there's cameras everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Ring cameras, neighbors' cameras.
Yeah. Your whole entire life is on camera.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that would be hard to find.
Yes, Chris Watts is in Wisconsin.
Okay.
He's incarcerated in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I have a comment from Kristen Kress, 3845. It says the brief interaction that they had in 2017 was that her dad owned some sort of safety company, instructing company of some sort. Nichol worked for her dad's company. She went into Anadarko prior to being hired by them as a subcontractor, so to speak, with her dad's company, and saw and instructed Chris and his team on whatever they were there for, and that is how they originally met. So it wasn't at the gym.
Do you think, maybe she was purposely running into him.
Different
places. Because, and do you think that maybe she applied at Anadarko as subcontracting because
that's what
of Chris?
I mean...
Because it sounds like she was a little bit obsessed with him.
Little bit.
I mean, Googling him and his family prior to even really knowing him.
Mm-hmm.
And he might not even known that he's crossed paths with her that many times. But then again, I don't remember where the information came from. I know that, last time we had somebody comment about the gym and how they met there. Oh, she said it was in Chris's interview.
Right. But then didn't somebody else comment that they... I think it was the one that was in Spanish.
Yes.
That they met at like a 4th of July thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And he introduced Shanann to Nichol
Yeah.
and the kids, right?
Yes.
Like Nichol met the kids and Shanann. So
I still have not. Truth be told, because we've been busy with Thanksgiving, I have not sat down and watched the 5-hour interview.
oh
with
yeah,
Chris
I haven't
yet.
either. Maybe
So-
we'll have to do that together.
Well, maybe we'll have to do that for 5 hours.
for 5 hours.
Gina, get the popcorn.
Right.
And okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean popcorn as in it's like entertainment, but get food to get us ready to sit down.
Yes,
and
because we
watch
eat
5
no matter
hours.
what we're doing.
Thank you. I have another one with the mind control. This is at Jevons 1805. Mind control uses black magic. If you are prepared to use torture or trauma to break someone's mind into compartments, you can use and discard. If you have no morals or conscience, then you would use whatever works. And black magic does have some effects. It does. The world is a lot more complex than people think it is. I found out I had a dodgy great-grandfather who had a magic room in his cellar that was so shocking some of the machines were buried on the property because they were too awful for anyone to find them at a dump or where they could be dug up. Machines for torture.
That's what I was going to say. What kind of machines?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know what he was doing down there. Let's do an episode on your great-grandfather, please.
Right?
I don't know what he was doing down there, but let's put it this way. Lord Tredegar was so into the occult that Aleister Crowley gave him a book with an inscription that reads, "To the adept of adepts." Am I saying that right? ADEPTS,
Mhm.
adepts. And the chief masons are considered magicians. They run a secret organization within that secret organization, and they use the media broadcasting to cast their spells far and wide. I've heard that before, that the media is used
Yeah.
as a way to cast spells. Hence the American Horror Story TV commercial showing dead baby skeleton in huge explosion, and make sure it is shown during the Chris Watts exposure at Nate's. See far-reaching occult mind control for America. I'm reading these like as they're written, and sometimes
Yeah.
I don't quite understand some of the stuff, like the Chris Watts exposure at Nate's.
I don't know.
It probably was a typo. You know how like
Yeah.
autocorrect likes
Yeah.
to correct it. But
There's a lot of information in that.
there is a lot of, when it went to the great-grandfather and then back through American Horror Story TV commercial. So
To
I'm
Aleister Crowley.
to Aleister Crowley. Yeah. But I get where people are trying to make connections and
Of
they see some
course.
kind of correlation between
Everybody wants to make it make sense.
Yeah. Well, because it doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Who would get rid of a mom and her 2 kids? Like it's so our mind just can't
Yeah.
just say
Can't wrap your
just
head around it.
because
Yeah.
there has to be a reason.
Yeah.
But this black magic and this mind control thing is sure taking off.
We're getting like numerous comments about it.
And I know that we had seen one on not just the mind control, but what was it on? Sorry, never mind. That thought went in and then out really super quick. I had something to say, but my mom said, never mind. We're not going to remember that. Too much stuff in the brain.
Okay. So I have one from Nell Sun 2521. It says Nichol Kessinger was initially all ready to release her book, did her interview with the newspaper, but then Alan, the armchair detective, spotted the shadow of Cece still alive on Nate's cam. Here's Nate again.
Is Nate the neighbor?
Yeah, Nate's the guy, but that
okay.
I was unsure about how Nate came into that comment that you read before.
They're saying that there was, I guess, a commercial, and I'm going to say, when you kind of sit and watch the whole entire video of Chris Watts in front of his house, I'm going to
Yes.
go back to it.
Yeah.
Because you know how he flips through channels and there's like, maybe there was a commercial that shot on that was of American Horror Story. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe.
okay. Okay.
Maybe there's, I'm going to rewatch that video then. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Or
So
if you want to write back and we can try to see if we can
Yeah.
find it. Yeah.
Yeah,
DM
please.
us on our Instagram and kind of go a little
explain
bit further
into
into
detail,
it.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nichol Kessinger was initially all ready to release her book, which I had never heard of her. I
didn't
know
even
that she
wrote
was.
it.
I feel like that was one of the reasons that she was Googling Amber Fry.
Yes.
Was to see how much money she made. Did her interview with the newspaper, but then Alan, the armchair detective, spotted the shadow of Cece still alive on Nate's cam, which spoiled her plans, plus stopped the blaming of Shanann for their deaths. So yeah,
no, we don't blame them at all for their deaths.
And we've heard a lot about the armchair detective guy who was apparently the person who spotted Cece's body in that video, and that is the reason that I believe his channel was removed, is because he was the person who spotted the shadow of her, I believe, of Nichol carrying her out, but she was alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big thing. He was the one that saw that video. And
how long ago was that?
I don't know.
Probably closer to when it happened.
Know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to that. If you could let us know, but I'm not real sure. I also want to comment on when we did the collaboration video with Zawoki. We have so many comments, #ThisIsMe. So shout out to all of you guys, because at the end of that video, we made the comment about everybody's going to #ThisIsMe, because I had asked, like, do we think that Chris Watts is in prison watching our videos? And we said, if you're watching, comment #ThisIsMe. So we got a bunch of comments.
Did we really?
We did.
That is so awesome.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I
So
love
this
that.
one I'm reading is from Sarah May WLJ5185. #ThisIsMe. I wonder if Nichol Kessinger is in her safe house watching this.
I love that.
So yeah. So shout out to all of you. This is me, guys.
Yeah. That's so awesome. I did have one, and you know what? It's funny that you mentioned the armchair detective, and I screenshotted one that mentions him as well. Mm-hmm. It's an @RosieR3.3409. Nick was roaming around downstairs, and armchair detective has the video. Even though I don't like him, I saw it. Nick got Shanann's purse, snuck it out of another room, and put it in the kitchen on the island where the detective found it. Check it out. It was plain as day. Nick moved the purse. Your info isn't always correct on some things. Like you, Zawuki. So I was like, okay. But that's the one where I think we're talking about, like, the video cameras were inside the house, or maybe it was the police officers that had There's
a lot of video out there.
A lot of video. So I just asked, do you have the video you're referring to? I would love to check it out. So I haven't seen a reply from it, but Rosie, if you do, just DM us on Instagram. We'll get the messages easier, and just let us know if you were able to send it, if you're able to send it to us, or at least know where to find it. But we do have a lot of information about, like, how she was in the house or she wasn't, whatever.
Right. Yeah. And there, honestly, some of you guys, like, your vision is on point. Because, like, some of the things that they're able to pick out in videos, I'm, like, struggling to see.
Yes.
Like, people are really, really good at, like, watching shadows and watching, on the one where he's backing up into the garage and loading or unloading or whatever he's doing, and they're watching the shadows under the truck, and they're watching, like, it's good stuff. Like, that people are really, really catching a lot of stuff.
Yes. I have one here too where it does mention, when asked by investigators about Jim, NK said, "You leave Jim alone, leave him alone," and they did. I'm wondering why she was wearing long sleeves when interviewed. In August, where the average temp is 88 degrees in August, was she hiding defense injuries? So I just put great observation. We didn't even think about that.
Interesting.
But 88 degrees, and she's coming into the station with her long sleeves.
Interesting.
Even though, I wear long sleeves a lot of the time too, but
yeah,
it's 88 degrees. And my thought in my head, and I didn't know how to write it, but my thought in my head is, I know when things like this happen, they have people kind of like, oh, can you take off your jacket? Can you show us your arm?
They want to look for defense wounds.
And are they allowed to ask you just off the cuff, like, just say, hey, can we check it out? And I know you don't have to say yes, right, but did they even bother?
If you have nothing to hide, then why would you? I mean, I would say no. I would feel like no, they didn't ask her, only because they're allowing her father to be in there. I feel like she's getting whatever she asks for at this point. They're not even going to ask her to show her arms, and who knows if it even came to their mind to even think to ask that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Because I think a lot of times you guys are asking questions that I don't even think to ask, that maybe the detectives at the time didn't think to ask. But the sad part is maybe they should have, because they are detectives and they should be like standard.
So
some
they
of
get
this
paid to
stuff
do.
should be standard stuff. Exactly.
For sure.
So
I have one from Ivy Dune 4185. And this is going back to, I had mentioned in our video and a couple of them about somebody had brought up the Munchausen's.
Yes.
And so we got a lot of responses about that. And so this person says, the thing is that the kid didn't have a peanut allergy. The part about Shanann is sort of correct. I don't say Munchausen by proxy, but she, like so many people and women, was a social hypochondriac. The autopsy says that they didn't have any health issues. So no lupus either, no peanut allergy. And I believe his mother didn't play along. I think she meant with her hysteria.
That's interesting. I didn't know that they can test for allergies after you passed.
And somebody had also asked, can you find, does lupus show up in an autopsy?
Yeah, I'm curious.
And I looked it up, and it says that in a certain percentage, yes, you can, but lupus is very hard to diagnose. Also, I know that it kind of mimics other diseases and stuff
when
like
you're
that.
alive, yeah,
because there's not an actual blood test. I don't believe that you can just take and say, yes, I have it. No, I don't. But yeah, I'm trying to find it because I know that there was another one that I found. Do you want to read one of yours?
Yeah, while you're looking. Well, mine, we did get a couple people responding, like, there's a couple of YouTube channels that really break down these videos really well. And a few of them mentioned Behind Criminal Minds. And I just want to give them a shout out again, because that is exactly where I got a lot of our information from, was Behind Criminal Minds. And I follow him as well. I follow Zawuki. He gets great videos, but I think a lot of that has to do with his fan base. The people who follow him give him like, hey, check this video out, check that video out. So I love checking out his videos, because he's a lot of times the first time I see some of these videos. Right. Because you guys do a great job of sending him in that direction for him to get these reaction videos from. So he's got really cool ones. The paranormal has come up. Yeah. On it, and this one's about the paranormal. It's at his Truth Seeker 66, another great legit paranormal channel that went there a few years ago, and even Survey 319 before it was demolished, is my friend's channel who lives in Colorado. His channel is, I'm gonna try to say it right, Mexi, Meksee, Mexi. He has a few channels, but they even went to NK's apartment building where she lived during the murders. So that's something I want to check out. Yeah. But because they've been kind of going that paranormal route as well. And so, and I know that we do a little bit of, we talk about paranormal sometimes. We talk about abandoned places. We've gone to places where, unfortunately, horrific crimes. When we went to Texas, you know, Dean Corll's home, places like that before it was demolished. And so I think it'd be cool to check it out. So I just wanted to give that a shout out. Yeah, no, most definitely. So, but we don't go to a lot of places. We're not asking we don't grab documents straight from the police stations. Yeah. We get it off of YouTube. We get it off of the internet. We Google stuff, that's our biggest friend. So when it comes to finding information like this, so we love the feedback. We love the input. We love hearing everybody's different takes on everything. And I really wish that I would have, I guess I didn't screenshot that other one that I was talking about the Munchausen, but yeah. I think I did see something on that as well, but we have a lot of great information, but it takes a lot of hours to look up and try to find stuff to corroborate. So if you guys have, and I know we're not supposed to put in links and things like this, so I don't know, DM us the links on our Instagram.
You guys can DM us on Instagram, because I don't think we're supposed to share links on YouTube.
Yeah, but if you have something that
I want to read one more.
Out, yeah, no, please.
This is from Ivy Dune 4185. It says, I think there's a third person involved, either Jim, the red car that carried them to survey, or that Troy or Trey from work. Because the day before, Chris met with him, and the reason seems suspicious. I think he went to the survey that day in Shanann's car. His work boots and clothes were there. Why? The Lexus was a family car, not a work car, and that Troy saw Chris and the girls in the Lexus. They could have both went to survey to dig the grave. He did not dig that hole at 6 a.m. knowing his team would arrive early. People say that Troy is very suspicious, but Jim has a red car, and there's definitely a red car coming from the back of his house before Chris starts his truck. The bodies went in the red car, and it takes 2 men to carry a heavy body and to dig a big hole. There's also a freezed image, credits to the original poster, who is not armchair detective, of a Nichol Kessinger figure carrying a child to the front of the house. To me, she's taking her asleep to the red car.
See, and they have mentioned, I know that, I don't know if it was a comment that I read or if it's something we talked about, because we talk about this case a lot, but they did mention about how they thought maybe Anadarko was actually in on it as well. And it might have been a comment.
I know that Anadarko wanted everything shut down immediately, and
they went.
It was, they
filed
didn't
for
want,
bankruptcy afterwards.
They didn't want anything to do with any of this.
But just to follow back around on that comment about Chris isn't in Wisconsin, I'm reading an article here from the New York Post. Shout out to the New York Post. That he is in the maximum security Wisconsin prison, and he reportedly has his female pen pals, which is very bizarre because he murdered his wife. And what he does to one doesn't,
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to do it on the next one. So, but he has a custodial job at Dodge Correctional Institute in Waupun, the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. So, just another verification that the guy is still there. He's just hanging out there.
Yeah. It just gets more interesting and more interesting and more interesting. And there's so much more information hourly coming out about this stuff. But we really love your comments. And so we just wanted to, which we will probably continue to do, to, just to let you guys know too, like we try to read all the comments, even if we're not, we try to respond to all of them, but we appreciate all the comments, and we do try to respond to all of you guys.
We love it.
We do. It's really overwhelming to get all the comments and try to get to them all, because I'll have a list that I am, and then Shannon will pull up ones and I'm like, I didn't even see those. Like, I don't even know where they're at. Yeah. So it's,
I just for funds at the end too, because we try to translate. Like we said, we had one in Spanish.
We got one in another language
in French,
too.
I believe, at Sophie 6850. Okay, maíz pon ella este hola video.
That doesn't sound French.
Well, I don't make it sound French. It looks like it's spelled French. Because est aula. A-O-U, that looks like a French word. I think O-U like oui.
I don't know.
Il faudrait arrêter de blâmer les deux familles car ils souffrent.
I have somebody screenshot that. I have somebody at work that speaks French. And so I will try to have her, when I go back to work on Monday, I will have her translate that for me.
And if it's Italian, and I'm really sorry, because I screw up English. Imagine me in a different language for this, because my husband says Italian, Portuguese.
They're all very similar. Yes.
Latin is close to Spanish. So if it's any anywhere near any of those languages, he might be able to do it for me. So,
yeah. But
I'll
if
have
it's
to send
French,
it over
I
to
can
you.
have my coworker.
It looks French though. Bon ea. Mais bon ea. It looks French. So
You're trying to airdrop it to me while we're recording.
oh, I'm so sorry. Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm like, I'm just sending that on over to you. Okay. But thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate all of the comments and watching and all the new subscribers. Welcome. We hope you enjoy our other videos too. If you have any videos that you would, or any cases that you would like us to talk about or look into, we love doing all of this stuff. I know that there's a couple cases that I really, really want to do. One of them is a missing persons case that was back from 2005 that I'm really trying to get a lot of information on because the girl who went missing was the best friend of one of the teachers that I work with. And so this is a case from Florida. So I'm really, really trying to invest a lot of time in this. So her name is Jennifer Kessinger. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that case. So probably in the next couple weeks, we'll be doing an episode on her. But if anybody has any information about her or anything, please comment. I know that Payne Lindsay from Up and Vanished has done a lot of stuff. Oxygen aired a show, True Crime Garage. A lot of the bigger podcasts have done shows on her. So, yeah, but we love reading your comments. We love everything. We are having a sale right now on our merch store, 30% off. Use code MADNESS if you would like to pick up any of our merch. It's at 50statesofmadness.bigcartel.com. And
if you know anybody who likes true crime, paranormal, or abandoned places, please ask them to subscribe.
Subscribe and yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's about it.
Again.
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and we will see you soon.
Be safe out there.
Bye.